Welcome to Mikon's Hardware. In this video I'm going to tell you about this Chinese graphics card from AliExpress. This one is Jginyue RX Vega 56. Unboxing of this graphics card you can find on my secondary channel, but you don't get anything extra inside the box except the graphics card, thus it's pretty boring. The graphics card itself is white, it comes with a custom-made Chinese cooler with the 3 fans, and I have to say it looks rather nice. Thus, it would be interesting to see how it performs, even though I know that this is an X-mining graphics card. Jginyue is either recycling the GPU die itself or GPU die plus PCB. As usual, I have done my standard printout with pluses and minuses of the graphics card, but before I go into the test results, I have a short message to my Chinese viewers. I know that some of you will download my video and upload to Chinese copy of YouTube called Bilibili, so this message is specially for my Chinese friends and my Chinese viewers. 我好久没说过中文，所以现在我的中文真不好，对不起。但是我想对你们说，俄罗斯人和俄罗斯是恐怖分子，他们杀好多乌克兰人，请你们不要支持俄罗斯，不要支持俄罗斯人，不要帮助他们杀乌克兰人。谢谢。With this being said, let's go for the positive sides of this Vega 56 graphics card from Jginyue. First of all, this is obviously not a scam, it's a real Vega 56 graphics card. GPU-Z recognizes GPU, and if you click the lookup button, you will go to a proper page. Then we have a rather good cooler. It comes with the 3 fans, and these fans are not bad either. If you do not ramp up the fans up to 100%, you can barely hear them. And one more thing that I like is that the graphics card comes with the 2 BIOS. There is a small jumper that you can flip one way or the other way to choose the first BIOS or the second BIOS. This is very handy because now I can experiment with the different BIOSes without ever being afraid to break my graphics card. Unfortunately though, this is all the positives about this Vega 56 from Jginyue. The biggest problem about this graphics card is that it does not hold the frequency. So the standard Vega 56 from AMD under heavy load is supposed to stay somewhere between 1500 and 1550 MHz. This one under load stays somewhere between 1100 and 1300 MHz. It's just pathetic. By default, the graphics card is limited to 165 watts electricity consumption, which is also significantly under standard 210 watts. Still, it is possible to manually release this limitation, and the graphics card will pull up to 250 watts, but unfortunately, even with the power limitation removed, it is still not maintaining the desired clock speed. So, with the power limit being removed, this graphics card maintains frequency under load somewhere between 1350 and 1450 MHz. Sometimes it can briefly touch 1500 mark, but that's not stable. What is even more annoying is that if I manually try to adjust the clock frequency or the voltage of the GPU using MSI Afterburner or the official AMD driver utility, then the graphics card goes into some sort of a safe mode and completely ignores all the settings. It is still possible to slightly overclock the memory, and the best performance I have got from this graphics card when I overclocked memory to 900 MHz from the standard 800 MHz and removed the power limitation. Still, even after these adjustments, the scores of this Jginyue Vega 56 are slightly under the scores that I can find online for this graphics card from reputable review sources. Even though I don't know if all of the Jginyue Vega 56 graphics cards behave this way, my particular one is underperforming and it is rather alarming. Of course, I have tried to talk to the AliExpress seller, but didn't get any help whatsoever. Some of you recommended me to try Vega 64 BIOS with this Vega 56 graphics card because some of the Vega 56 cards can be flushed with the Vega 64 BIOS. Unfortunately, in my case, this Jginyue graphics card uses Hynix memory, while the Vega 64 cards were supplied with the Samsung memory, and that means I was not able to find a single Vega 64 BIOS that would have Hynix memory compatibility. Nevertheless, I have tried to flush AMD BIOS and Sapphire BIOS that would support Hynix memory. In both cases, I have got a brick and had to restore the default Jginyue BIOS. This BIOS I have of course uploaded to the Tech Power Up website, so if you're interested you can look at that one. To read and write BIOS, you can use the standard AMD ATI Flash utility version 293. Of course, I will add a link to download this utility into the video description. I can also say that Jginyue RX Vega 56 uses some sort of a unique PCB, and that's probably why other BIOSes are not compatible with this graphics card. Online, I could not find anything like that. All the graphics cards I could find use different PCB, so this is either an engineering board from AMD or this is a custom-made Chinese PCB specifically for this card. And finally, I'm going to complain about the assembly quality of this graphics card. At least in my case, all of the screws were not installed properly and I had to retighten all of them manually, or at least most of them. Also, the paint is not the best. When I removed and reinstalled this I/O shield or the I/O bracket, some paint pieces just decided to fall off, so the paint is not the best. This is probably enough to understand that even though the graphics card works and it does its job, I cannot recommend it. You would much better be with the RX 5500 for about the same money, or you could just pay a little bit more and get yourself a proper RX 5700 XT. 5700 XT is a much newer graphics card, it's much stronger, and is also more power efficient. With that being said, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, I hope it was interesting and educational. Bye for now.